So one of the tricks that I've been using my carp fishing for the last 15 years is to remove the plastic insert from an inline lead and to have the lead running up and down the tubing or up and down a leader and then onto bare mainline. And the reason why I do that is if I were to leave the plastic insert inside, when the carp picks up the lead is not going to slide away. And if the lead doesn't slide away, then the carp is going to use the weight of the lead to throw the rig out. Now, some anglers have said that, well, you can't do that because the sharp edges of a lead are going to cut the main line. Let's go to the workshop, let's do a few tests and see whether this is a real concern or not. So for this first test, I've got a spool of the old Nash Bullet, 15 pound, 0.35 mono, and I'm loading that up. I'm putting 3 or 4 pound of force on that line at 90 degrees to the edges of the lead, and I'm grinding that back and forth really quite aggressively. Now, in a fishing scenario, this is never going to happen. This is, far beyond, the rubbing force effect that a lead is going to have on the main line, and there is absolutely zero damage whatsoever. Yeah, the line did go a bit bongly, but that's just a kind of curling effect after you rub the main line. It hasn't damaged the line, hasn't weakened the line. So as long as the main line that you're using is 0.3, 0.35 or upwards, then there is absolutely no issues with having a bare lead running up and down the main line without a plastic insert. So that first test was pretty extreme, but for the second test I'm going to make it even more aggressive. I'm going to use a razor blade to cut off the top of the lead, so we've got an absolute razor sharp 90-degree angle, and I'm going to use even thinner mono. I'm going to use 0.23 zig flow, which is not a main line at all really. It's used for hook link, for zig fishing. So here we are grinding it back and forth, really giving it some stick, and it's not failing. It's not picking up any damage at all. So I'm applying a lateral load, a load at 90 degrees to that razor sharp edge with very thin mono, and I'm grinding it back and forth 20, 30 times and zero damage. It's just not affecting the mono at all. So I've been fishing with inline leads set up like this for the last 15 years and I've never had any issues. Now on a runs water with plenty of fish that are competing for the bait and actively feeding, then it's not much of an issue. You are going to catch some carp using a standard inline semi-fixed lead. But once you venture away from a runs water, you go to a harder water, bigger fish, less fish, more pressured fish, they are very good at throwing the rig out. I don't really set them up running naked. I'll always use some form of leader, lead-free leader at the business end or some tubing. But once it comes off that tubing or off that leader, yes, the lead is running on the bare main line, but it does not damage it at all. So for me, there's no issues whatsoever with using an inline lead without the plastic insert. It's safe. It's a highly effective method for carp fishing, for any species actually. The fish cannot use the weight of the lead to throw the hook out, and it converts many more bites into screaming runs. And a screaming run, a solid take, really should mean that that fish ends up where it belongs, in the bottom of your landing net.